Here we are again. So now we're taking uh, about 8 of the Cayce exercises, 4 that you learned last month, 4 that you learned this month, and we're integrating this part of a larger series. So it starts with a twist. You're letting your weight transfer. If you can lead with your eyes, so much the better. We're breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth here. Keep it in a range of motion that is very comfortable. Come on back to the center and let's go to the next one. So if this is too much for your arms to have them lifted like this, you can keep them down or you can just bend the elbows. We're looking to create a nice easy arch. And yes, we are letting the weight shift, we're letting the hips shift, but we are being aware that we're looking to arch sideways through the ribs. Again, breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. You can breathe in as you go one way, out as you go the other way. Take an entire breath as you go side to side, twice. Depends upon your breathing patterns. Come on back to the middle. And we're going to go for rounding forward and arching backwards. So we want this knees bent, tucking the butt under, and then arching. Oh, feels so good today. Keep this small, please. Do not force either of these shapes, especially backwards. If you have back problems, this is going to feel like, oh, yeah, this is just the stretch I want. No, it isn't. This is really the stretch that you want. And I would suggest you put your hands on your hips and make a very small back bend and then very small curl. If you can clasp your hands behind you as you back bend, go for it. Again, we're breathing in through the nose as we come through the middle, and then breathe out as you back bend. Also breathe back, out as you forward bend. So your breath cycle may need to quicken, or you need to make the movement slow enough to breathe comfortably. Do not force an uncomfortable breath. Whew. Come on back to the middle, and let's get into the rotation part of the series. So we start with the shoulders. We're dragging the upper arm alongside the chest. Collarbones move, shoulder blades move. Yes, you may feel your neck doing something because that's part of what moves your shoulders. We're still breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. And I'm going to change direction on the arms. There are a lot of things you can do with your arms here to make it comfortable. If you're more happy with your hands hanging on your shoulders, go for it. If you're happier to have your arms just hanging, also go for that. Once more over the top, just hit your arms on your back again, which is where they like to live. And then let's get into shoulder rotation. So this is, the arm rotation. This is the one where we want the thumb pointing toward the floor the whole time. Remember, you can start with very small circles. Yes, we're letting the ribs go. We're not being rigid here. So the two important things that I said a few minutes ago, thumb pointing toward the floor the whole time. You will have to look. Your arm will try to avoid doing that. And then perhaps more important, but I'm mentioning it second, is the pain is not going to help you here. If it feels weird, we're okay with that. If it's snapping, popping, clicking repeatedly and there's pain, stop. Or better, if you can, make it smaller. You may discover that a smaller range of motion will get the movement without all the excess stuff that indicates damage is happening. And then change directions or change arms. For some of you, if you haven't moved your arms this way, your arms will feel so heavy and it will feel like so much work. Better to change arms than to fight through and lose the form, thumb toward the floor, or the breathing, in through the nose, out through the mouth. If you like, in breath on the way up, out breath on the way down. You can do a full inhalation for one circle, a full exhalation for another circle. Your body, your breath. Just please keep breathing. I'm going to change arms. You can either change arms again or change directions, whatever feels like the best for you. Different arm. Sometimes it can feel like, wow, this is a different body. Yes, it is. You do different things with your arms on a regular basis, right? It builds you a very different body depending upon which arm is doing what stuff. That's normal throughout your body to have very big differences from side to side. We are bilateral beings, we are not symmetrical. I'm going to do one more and then I'm changing directions. Again, you can either change directions or change arms wherever you are so that you get both directions on both arms at whatever range of motion is appropriate for you, right? Appropriate means you can keep the thumb facing the floor, you have no pain or thunking circle signals, right? If things are snapping back and forth as you go, if you feel like you're running into speed bumps, not good. This is going to be my last one. And then we're getting into leg rotation. So this one, the leg turns in, entire leg turns in. It's pigeon-toed as you can get. Hold on to stuff for balance if you need it. And then find your ovals. I say circles, but most of us are drawing some sort of an oval here. If your entire foot lifts off the floor, that's great. The way my ankles relax, my toe tends to drag. Do what allows you to make the circles. And then again, either change legs or change directions. Make sure that you remember, if you change legs, remember which direction you started in. It's frighteningly easy to forget which direction you went in. I'm using this hand here to help stabilize this hip because I have a tendency to let it wander. We do want the hips, the pelvis to be still. We are just moving this leg bone in the hip socket. And come on back to 2 feet. Fidget if you need to, otherwise shift to the other side. And again, finding that stillness in the hips as relative as possible, right? We don't make ourselves still by turning ourselves to stone, right? It is finding, actually you'll be finding core muscles that resist the movement of the thigh. And if you need to make these circles very small to start with while your nervous system builds this coordination in, that's part of what you're gaining. I'll say it again, breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Keep the leg turned in. It will try to turn out at those strangest places and change directions or again, change legs. Oh, yikes. I'm feeling this in my standing leg because this is my second set. Within a short period of time, these muscles that hold us on one leg get very tired. If you are thinking you are horribly out of shape, it's just that these muscles are not meant to make us still for a long period of time. Let yourself come back to 2 legs. Again, fidget a little bit if you need to. It is a muscle that you can build up over time, but it's more important that it be functional, moving back and forth from leg to leg. We're going into hip rotations, which will move you back and forth from leg to leg. Let your knees be soft and your ankles be soft. Find a leg width that works for you. We're relatively still in the shoulders and head while the hips are drawing whatever large circle they're able to draw. That lovely image of being inside a vertical barrel while you clean things out with your hips. I'm changing directions. Find something pleasant to clean from the inside of the barrel. And again, breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the mouth. You can do one full inhalation as you go around or one full breath cycle as you go around. Just please keep breathing. And the hip rotations are the last of the rotation part. Let's go back to the spine, just the upper spine. So we're working in the neck. Drop the chin, and you can think of the first one dropping in toward the neck, and then pick the head back up, and perhaps you want to drop the chin a little lower to the collarbones. Pick it back up. Maybe this time you'd like to drop it even lower toward the chest and pick it back up. There's, again, no pain. So dropping the head back, if you can lift the chin all the way up and that's not painful, sure, go for that. If you need to support the weight of the head, do that. If you want all the extra points, make a bulldog face, stick your tongue out, and again, bring your head back. And we're tilting to one shoulder, and we're going to stay on that one side. Do not make this a rib cage exercise. We already arched the rib cage. So we want 3 total. I think I've just done 4. And then we're going to do 3 to the other side. Things that you can play with are your ears over your shoulders, are your cheekbones over your collarbones. If your head is further forward, you'll feel this in a different place. Then we're going into rotation, and we're going to nod and lift at the extreme. Again, if you can lead with your eyes, really wonderful, including for the nodding as well as for the turning. And we're changing sides each time. 3 rotations in the neck. Bring the head back to the center, and you're going to circle gently with the chin to whatever is your full range of motion. So neck, similar to shoulders, if there's pain, find the range of motion where there's no pain or do not do, and please see your healthcare professional. If there's endless Rice Krispies, or worse if there's thunking, I'm changing directions because I've done 3, also not good. Even if the sounds don't have pain, see if you can find a range of motion where there's less sounds. And again, thunking really not good. I'm on my last circle. You may be moving more quickly or more slowly than I am, so again, 3 of each. And that's the series so far. Endless gratitude to Peter Van Daam, who never wants endless gratitude or anything else. He just offers this up. There will be a link in the comments to the excellent video that he's done on the entire series. Have wonderful holidays, and good job you for doing something for yourself.